Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob and today I take on a Corgi Junior's Reliant TW9, possibly the ugliest car in my collection. So ugly in fact that I had to restore it. It speaks to me, this one. Yeah, it's a strange looking thing. It looks a bit like a three-legged frog. But anyway, I'm going to take down the centre of the rivet. I'm going to remove that flange and tap that hole. Remember, lubricate the end of your piece. You don't want to snap it. But yeah, it's quite a good roller actually. And you'll notice there's some parts to the side of me and paint over my hands. I've kind of like doing this, I guess, restoration in between the previous video, the Cortina giveaway. So if you haven't seen that one yet, jump in on it because you can win that car. But anyway, most of the paint's been removed from this casting. I bought this from the same place that I bought that previous Cortina. So it appears that majority of the paint's been removed with some knife or scraper. But yeah, bit of a state this one. So as you can see, I've removed the rear rivet and having a bit of trouble trying to take it off from the front. I'm wondering whether there's a second rivet somewhere, something hidden. It's not coming loose. I don't want to obviously yank on it because I don't want to break something. So just going to figure it out and come back to it. And indeed, there was a couple of tabs on the front here that ultimately just needed to be bent back in order to take this off, and the only way to do it was to, well, by force, to be fair, and eventually it did come off. But a bit concerned because these are going to have to be bent back again, and my experience, as you can see, is a little bit bent now to the on that right piece in order to allow it to come through. But yeah, my experience with die cast is that you bend it one way, you bend it the other, it snaps. So yeah, I'm going to be pretty careful trying to put that together. But yeah, it goes in there. But anyway, I shall move on. We'll take out the window section. Bit of scuff on there, but we'll do our best to take that out. And we can see the original colour there, a nice bright orange. But we'll put it into my foot-long hot dog jar, covered in some boiling water, and then a tablespoon or more of caustic soda. And you'll see that the water there is starting to take on a bit of a orange hue. A little bit of paint you could probably notice there starting to float around in the water. So I know straight away that this is doing its job. But I'm not going to rush trying to, pouring it down the sink. Put that to one side and I'll deal with that in a moment. And whilst that's doing its magic, I shall just pop in this little window section into some warm soapy water. And then, because there is a bit of a scuff, I'm going to kind of show you really the items that I use. And I just go over with this fine sandpaper. I then use the auto sole with my fingers and basically buff it up with my fingers and then polish it off with a microfiber. And it comes out very good. And obviously finish it off with the Pledge Revive It, and I think you'll agree that looks pretty good. The bottom of the casting I'm going to use Ellis tool, and I've got an official Dremel bit. Do remember your safety glasses, these little bits go everywhere. and then I finished that off camera, but probably been 5 or so minutes now, and you'll see that all of the paint has now been removed from the casting, so very happy with that. And then after a buff up with Ella's tool again, I think you'll agree that come out pretty good. So I'm going to cover it with some Tamiya Fine Surface Primer. Now there's some weird angles with this one, so it takes a little bit of a few squirts here and there just to really get this good and covered. Now starting from this video, and what with the recent giveaway video, I want to give away, I guess, more cars. So, but I can't give them all away. I'll go bankrupt. But you know, my larger videos, say for example if I reach 2,000 likes on a video, I'll give that car away. So if that sounds good to you, like the video, leave a comment, and if it reaches 2,000 likes, it'll be given away. And quite a few of my videos have reached 2,000 likes, so it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. But anyway, I'll add some liquid chrome to these wheels. It's all gone, and I think you'll agree that looks pretty nice, pretty nice. Now I'm going with the Tamiya X6 orange for this casting. It's quite nice using a paint straight out of the pot because of any requirements for touch-ups or more paint. You don't need to worry about the mix. So where possible, and I must admit it is rare. You know, in my earlier days I used to be able to, well I say be able to, I used to just use the paints as they were. But recently I like to mix it up, create colours that have never been created before. You know, real customs, or mixing up paints to try and recreate old paints made by Lesney 50-60 years ago. But yeah, it's quite nice just picking one out and going, yep, I'll use that orange. And I think it's, well, this is a restoration, well, kind of like a restoration plus attempt. I'm going to use a bit of creative license and add in a couple of details. But I think this is about as close as the original orange as you're going to get, especially straight out of the pot. And I'm going to guess that Corgi probably borrowed some paint or shared some paint with Matchbox, because Matchbox around this era, 70s and 80s, they used an orange that was, well, the same in my opinion. So perhaps to keep down costs, they just used the same old paint. So there's the first coat. And then I put on a second coat later on, but this is just me now going across all the bits and pieces, and I think you'll agree that looks pretty nice. I did cover it with some lacquer as well, but like I say, I'm going to use a bit of creative license, add in some rear lights and some details on the side. But as a little reminder of how I received it, and here's the result. So like I say, I put a little bit of chrome on the door handle and where the door, I guess, latches to the front of the cab there, the rear lights, as you can see. A little bit of chrome on the wheels. This is like it's one of those ugly ducklings. It's ugly, but I love it. But anyway, just want to thank my patrons, and like I say, give this video a like and a comment if you want to win it, maybe one day. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.